I never had the go-ahead to terminate.
Let me show you how.
Jet Li is a famous film actor, a great athlete, and the youngest wushu champion in the world. The fighter has many techniques in his arsenal, but his main weapon is wisdom. Despite worldwide fame, Jet Li remains a modest and reserved person. We will tell you about the life of Jet Li in this video. How Jet Li lives and how much he earns. Jet Li, whose real name is Li Lianji, was born in the capital of China, Beijing, on April 26, 1963, and was the fifth and youngest child in the family. When the boy was 2 years old, his father died, and the mother had to raise her children alone. As a child, Li had a calm personality and exemplary behavior. Mom didn't allow her youngest son to swim, ride a bike, or anything that could in theory cause injury, and Li obeyed and didn't even try to lie to her. The future actor went to school at the age of 8 and was a year older than his classmates. The teachers loved the boy because he was honest and humble. He was even allowed to help lead daily physical exercises. Little Lianji stood in front of all the school children and counted out the rhythm with a serious look. In the summer, after finishing the first grade, the local authorities sent him along with all his classmates to the Beijing sports camp, where Li was assigned to join a wushu group. As a hardworking student, he diligently followed the instructions of the coach, which amazed him. Li was the only one of his peers to whom the coach suggested continuing training after the end of the summer vacation. So the boy began to practice daily not only the physical technique of wushu, but also the spiritual practices of this martial art. The coach had high hopes for his student and even helped the poor family with food so that Li's young body would develop fully. When he was 9 years old, Lianji was preparing for his first competition outside of Beijing and looked forward to traveling by train, but his mother was terrified that her child would be so far from home. Li even almost stayed, but it was already impossible to refuse to participate. At the performance, the boy was recognized as the best, and after returning home, he was released from classes in a regular school and transferred to a sports school. In those days, electricity was often cut off in Beijing, but this didn't interfere with the coach's training. During one of these dark training sessions, Li injured his foot but was afraid to say anything about it. With a swollen foot, he trained with everyone for 2 days until it turned out that it was a fracture. But even then, the boy was not released from classes. While the bone was healing, the boy practiced punching. In 1974, at the age of 11, Li went to the United States with the Chinese national team. There, the young athlete performed brilliantly and was noticed by US President Richard Nixon. Nixon was so inspired by Li's combat training, he jokingly invited him to become his bodyguard when Jet grew up. But he replied enchantingly, "I don't want to protect a particular person. I will protect millions of my compatriots." But despite the meeting with the President of the United States, Li still considers the main achievement of that momentous trip to be a change in his outlook and his attitude towards the American people. The boy realized that ordinary people in the United States are friendly and don't wish evil to the people of China. In the United States, Li didn't forget about his mother. He bought her a Swiss watch with the pocket money he received there. Returning to his homeland, the young athlete continued to participate in sports competitions and conquer new heights. Moreover, the 12-year-old boy often had to compete with athletes much older than him, in their 20s or even 30s. Over the next 4 years, Li, along with other Chinese athletes, traveled half the world demonstrating wushu techniques. Li strove to achieve the popularization of wushu in all countries, and he succeeded. Between 1975 and 1979, he became the Chinese wushu champion 5 times. The boy's athletic success contributed to the disclosure of his acting talent. Once at a competition, the athlete was noticed by director Zhang Xinyan. He got the idea to make another Bruce Lee out of the fighter, and what's remarkable, it was Bruce Lee who was Li Lianji's idol as a child. The boy's debut film was The Shaolin Temple, which tells the story of an orphan boy who was brought up in a monastery by Shaolin monks. The film was released in 1982 and was a resounding success. The directors didn't think twice before filming the sequel to the story in 1984, Shaolin Temple 2, Kids from Shaolin. And the final third part, Shaolin Temple 3, North and South Shaolin, appeared on the big screen in 1985. Actually, Li received the nickname Jet after filming in the Shaolin trilogy. During the filming of the movies about Shaolin, the novice actor had a conflict with the director. after which Jet decided to make his own movies and star in them. But never having had a defeat before, Jet Li faced some setbacks. His first and last work as a director was Born to Defense, which was released in 1986 and failed miserably at the box office. In addition, the actor suffered a back injury during filming. Also, the attempt to obtain American citizenship was unsuccessful. The actor began to pay more attention to his personal life and having a family. In 1987, Jet married Huang Qian, an athlete who was a member of the Beijing Wushu team and also co-starred with him in Kids from Shaolin. In marriage, they had 2 daughters, Si and Taimi, but the couple divorced 3 years later. In 1989, the action movie Dragon Fight was released, and in 1991, the world saw another amazing film with Jet Li, Once Upon a Time in China, which was followed by 2 sequels released in the next 2 years. Speaking about the early films with Jet Li, we should mention such movies as The Master, Swordsman 2, The Legend 2, Last Hero in China, Kung Fu Cult Master, The New Legend of Shaolin, My Father is a Hero, Dr. Y in the Scripture with No Words, Black Mask, Once Upon a Time in China and America, Hitman, as well as Tai Chi Master and the Bodyguard from Beijing. The action movie Fist of Legend, which appeared on the big screen in 1994, can be called a remake of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury.
中國人唔可以入賭場，出去！呢度係中國地方，中國人去邊都得。什麼？
And the 1995 picture Meltdown was remembered by the audience for its plot. The director of the film quarreled with the famous Jackie Chan and decided to make a parody of him, openly making fun of the actor and his family in the movie. In 1998, conquering audiences in Asia, Europe, and America, Jet Li made his Hollywood debut in the blockbuster Lethal Weapon 4.
哥，很久没见了。
快又是我们的天下。
His role was first offered to Jackie Chan, but he refused because he didn't want to play a negative character. As for Jet, this was his first role as a villain. In 1999, Lee got married for the second time. He chose Hong Kong actress Nina Li Chi, who is 2 years older than her husband. They met each other back in 1989 when they co-starred in the movie Dragon Fight. The actor was still married then. Lee and Nina have been dating for a long time and legalized the relationship only after 10 years. Jet Li is sure that Nina is his soulmate and a person who understands him like no other. The couple has 2 daughters, Jane and Jada. 2 years after his brilliant work in Lethal Weapon 4, the actor starred in the dramatic action movie Romeo Must Die.
These guys find you up here, you're gonna have some serious problems, so I suggest you go out the window.
No, I like it this way.
Alright, it's your funeral.
The film paid off at the box office and Lee received a $2.4 million royalty. Another important feature of Jet is his endless love and concern for his family. In order to be with his wife in the last months of pregnancy, he turned down the role in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. In addition to this film, the actor also refused to star in The Matrix. Lee said that the cause was a fight over copyright. He didn't want the rights to the film to be completely transferred to the creators of the picture so that they could own them as intellectual property. While acting in The One in 2001, the actor managed to earn $7.5 million, even though the main role in the movie was originally supposed to be played by Dwayne Johnson.
I am Eula. I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine.
In this film, Jet worked with Jason Statham for the first time. In the same year, the actor played a role in the film Kiss of the Dragon, earning $5 million.
What did you do to me?
I put a needle in your neck.
That's it?
In a certain point. Very forbidden. It's called the Kiss of the Dragon.
An interesting fact from this film is that the tunnel in which Jet Li's character is overtaken by the French police is the same tunnel in which Princess Diana died in 1997. In one of the scenes, Jet's character attacks Pimp Lupo, played by Max Ryan. It was assumed that the dialogue between the actors would be filmed separately from the fight. But when they finished exchanging lines, the director for some reason didn't say cut, and Lee made a punch. This take was included in the final version of the movie, along with Ryan's completely genuine surprise. This incident came in handy because the filmmakers had to adjust the fights to the tastes of the audience, who wanted to see more realistic scenes. The fight scene between the characters of Jet Li and Cyril Raffaelli even had to be slowed down as the actors were moving too fast. To star in the 2002 film Hero, Jet Li agreed to a fee reduction to $11 million. Jackie Chan was offered to star in the role of the Emperor, but he refused. It was the most expensive Chinese movie by the time of its release. Another action movie with Li in the lead role, Cradle to the Grave, was released in 2003. In 2004, information appeared in the media about the death of the great actor and athlete. As it turned out, he was on vacation with his family in the Maldives during the tsunami. Fortunately, the information about his death turned out to be only a rumor. Jet survived, only injured his leg, saving his daughter. After this incident, the actor spends most of his time with his wife and children. In 2005, Luc Besson wrote the script for Danny the Dog specifically for Jet Li.
You big fucking asshole!
The movie features not only the longest-running fight scene with Li in his career, but also the most violent one. The next film starring the actor was Fearless.
没事吧？
没事儿。
这样没事。
别跑！
Its creators wanted to name the picture The Legend of the Fighter, but then it turned out that such a film already existed. For ethical reasons, Li refused to perform some of the techniques planned by the fight director. Elements such as a slap in the face or a blow with the back of the head seemed to the actor too incorrect in relation to Europeans and Americans. In addition to hand-to-hand fights, the action movie also features a scene of a battle with melee weapons. Anthony DeLongis and Jet Li broke at least 6 swords during the filming. At that time, Jet was engaged in charitable activities and has been an ambassador for the Red Cross since 2006. The athlete is a follower of Tibetan Buddhism. He even met personally with the Dalai Lama. He is attracted to the philosophy of Wushu, but according to Li, this kind of martial arts used for self-defense doesn't stand up to criticism. He strives to help young Chinese people understand what life is and shares his knowledge of Buddhism. It should be noted that not all of Jet Li's films were successful. One of the unsuccessful works was the movie War, filmed in 2007. The actor has stated in several interviews that he is not happy with either this film or its production. He went so far as to say that the film sucked and didn't trust the director Philip Atwell. Even halfway through filming, he knew he would get mediocre ratings instead of profits. In late 2007, Li returned to his homeland and starred in the Sino-Hong Kong film The Warlords. The main focus of the film was not on the martial arts but on the dramatic component. For this work, Jet received a Hong Kong Film Award nomination for Best Actor. The actor's fee for this film was $13 million. In the spring of 2007, Li founded his own nonprofit foundation, One Foundation, which aims to combat the consequences of natural disasters, including psychological trauma. In 2008, Li made his first screen appearance alongside martial arts veteran Jackie Chan in Rob Minkoff's action-adventure The Forbidden Kingdom.
You punch him again. Snake!
It's not right for snake. Perhaps eagle.
Soon Jet starred as the main villain in the fantasy action movie The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor with Maria Bello and Brendan Fraser. After a long period of work in the United States, the actor was finally able to obtain American citizenship, but he renounced it in 2009 and also renounced Chinese citizenship in favor of Singapore citizenship. Jet chose this country because of the quality education system his younger daughters needed. Also in the same year, Li starred in the military drama The Founding of a Republic and launched his own fitness program called Wuji, which consists of elements of Wushu, yoga, and Pilates. Adidas soon launched the clothing line for this program emblazoned with the initials JL. Jet's return to the film industry after a year-long hiatus took place on the set of the action movie The Expendables.
When I get hurt, the only is bigger. Because I'm smaller. When I travel, I need to go farther.
I know, because you're smaller, right?
Yes.
Which brought together such stars as Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, and Mickey Rourke. In 2012-2014, Li played the same role in the sequels The Expendables 2 and The Expendables 3. In 2010, Jet Li became the first Asian face of the luxury Swiss watch company Hublot. In 2011, Jet created the Taji Zen lifestyle company with the Chinese entrepreneur Jack Ma, founder of the Alibaba Group. The company's main mission is health and happiness for all through the art of Tai Chi. In the following years, the following movies starring Jet Li were released: the drama Ocean Heaven, Flying Swords of Dragon Gate, The Sorcerer and the White Snake, Badges of Fury, League of Gods, and Gangshou Dao. The latest and we hope not the last movie that Jet Li starred in was Mulan, released in 2020, in which he played the role of the Emperor.
Hua Mulan, the people owe you a debt of thanks. I owe you my life.
Since 2016, the actor has been actively maintaining his personal page on Instagram, publishing his photos. A photo of actor Jet Li got on social media, in which he looked so bad that fans were seriously worried. The actor admitted that he's been suffering from hyperthyroidism since 2010, but he assures everyone that everything is fine with him. Despite his deteriorating health, the actor has no plans to leave the film industry and continues to act in various projects. "If I leave now, I will end up in a wheelchair later," he commented on his decision. "But if I don't leave, I will end up in a wheelchair, but it will be encrusted with diamonds." In his spare time, Jet plays badminton and ping pong, rides a bicycle, reads, and meditates. Martial arts superstar Jet Li turned 57 on April 26, 2020. On his birthday, he shared the best gift for his fans: family photos. In 2020, the actor's net worth was $250 million. His income from filming is the highest among Chinese movie stars. Jet's wife Nina's hometown of Shanghai is home to the actor's huge mansion worth 200 million won, about $30 million. The actor bought it in 2008, according to rumors, as a dowry for one of his daughters, but never lived in it. Since then, the house has fallen into disrepair and even was converted into a hostel for security guards. In Singapore, in Bukit Timah, the actor owns an elite bungalow for 20 million Singapore dollars, or 15 million US dollars. It is also known that the actor owns real estate in Los Angeles and lives there when he comes to the United States. Jet Li is not a big car enthusiast. He has a BMW 745 Li and a Spyker C8 Spider. Even though the actor lives in Singapore, having renounced his Chinese citizenship, he remains the favorite actor of his compatriots. What made Jet Li so successful? What do you think?
How Mel Gibson lives and what happened to him. Mel Gerard Gibson was born on January 3, 1956 in suburban New York. He was the sixth child in his Irish Catholic family. The boy was named after Saint Mel and Saint Columcille, who is venerated as one of the 12 disciples in Ireland. His parents, Patricia and Hatton Gibson, were ordinary, deeply religious people. They saw the meaning of life in their children, thus the family turned out to be quite large. They had 11 children in total. It seems that the great future of Mel was genetically determined because his paternal grandmother was an Australian opera star and his grandfather was a millionaire. He owned a successful tobacco business in the American South. The second ingredient in the formula of success was his parents' boundless love and care. They did everything they could to support the children. However, the family couldn't be called well off. The father was a conductor on the New York Central Railroad, where he sustained occupational injury. Having a high IQ and iron will, Hutton sued his former employer and got a substantial compensation of $145,000. Moreover, his sharp mind allowed him to win $21,000 in an international game show, and this money was very useful when the USA was about to enter a large-scale war conflict in Vietnam. The head of the family didn't want to risk the lives of their children, who would be eligible to be drafted for service to fight in a war, and he decided to move his family to Australia. Mel successfully graduated high school and got a parallel religious education, dreaming to become a journalist. But his sister helped him a lot to choose his future vocation. She knew that her brother was very artistic and liked to prank people, so she applied to Sydney National Institute of Dramatic Art on his behalf. Gibson himself was not very eager to go there. The day before the audition, he got very drunk and had a fight, and because of that, he didn't look very well. Fortunately, the commission liked this rough look, and he started his studies, living with his friends in Sydney. Among these friends was future Oscar winner Jeffrey Rush. While still a student, Mel appeared in his first movie, Summer City. This way, he earned only $400. Right after graduation, he started to receive offers for roles in movies, as well as an invitation to join the National Theatre Company. His first steps in this field brought him success. Almost simultaneously, 2 movies hit the theaters: critically acclaimed movie Tim and a cult dystopian movie, Mad Max, directed by George Miller.
It'll take you 10 minutes to hack through it with this. Now, if you're lucky, you can hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go.
The Grim Road movie brought fame to the aspiring actor, and he earned 15,000 Australian dollars for that role, and eventually, Mad Max turned out to be the most successful Australian movie, grossing over $100 million worldwide. At first, the young actor didn't expect to get the lead role because he showed up to the audition after another fight. His face was swollen because of the bruises and abrasions. That's why he was advised to come back a few weeks later to try to get a role as one of the bandits. After getting himself together, Mel came back to the audition, and they offered him to try out the role of Max. No one realized that this handsome young man was there before, hungover and beaten. Fate gave Mel one gift after another, and this time he's got lucky in his personal life. He met a charming dentist's assistant, Robin Moore. The couple met in Adelaide. The actor came there touring with the theater, but there's also an alternative version, according to which they met with the help of a dating agency. Perhaps he had to use the services of the professional matchmakers because as a young man, Gibson suffered from an inferiority complex. He had a lot of fleeting relationships, he fought a lot, he drank a lot, and he got in all kinds of trouble. After another fight, Mel was on the verge of death, and that was the reason for him to turn his life around. In 1980, Mel and Robin got married. The marriage was very solid. It lasted for almost 30 years. They had 7 children, 5 sons, and 2 daughters. Getting a reliable refuge in his wife, Gibson proceeded to conquer the screens. In 1981, he starred in Miller's Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior.
2 days ago, I saw a vehicle that had hauled that tanker. You want to get out of here? You talk to me.
The movie was received well by the audience and praised by the critics. It was mentioned as one of the best movies of that year. Mel earned $120,000 for the shooting. At the same time, he appeared in several successful movies. A war drama, Gallipoli, about the hardships of the First World War, for which Gibson earned 35,000 Australian dollars, and Attack Force Z, an action film about the Second World War, which brought the actor 1,000 Australian dollars. And a romantic drama film called The Year of Living Dangerously, in which he starred with Sigourney Weaver. In the next couple of years, Gibson rocked Hollywood like a hurricane. He starred in one top-notch film after another. In 1984, an adventure drama, The Bounty, came out. Then the actor starred in the drama film called The River, which he got nominated for several Oscars, and a drama film called Mrs. Soffel. The popularity of the actor brought him a $1 million contract with a Japanese brewery called Asahi. According to the contract, the actor was obligated to regularly appear in public with a beer can. Gibson was thoroughly fulfilling the obligation, drinking around 8 cans of beer a day in a row, and when advised to replace beer with tea or water, he refused. Probably that contract backfired at Gibson because during this time he lost his driver's license for 3 months and got a $400 fine for drunk driving. In 1985, the third Mad Max movie was released. This was the last time Gibson played that role. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was spectacular and action-packed, and Mel got 1.2 million Australian dollars for the role.
1 hour.
If you find him, what then?
I'll ask him to return what's mine.
Oh, and of course he'll be desperate to clear his conscience.
He will be.
You that good?
Mm-hmm.
He finally established his presence on the Hollywood Olympus by playing the lead role in the cult classic action movie Lethal Weapon in 1987.
$100,000! $100,000! Did you hear what he said?
100,000? I'm sorry, I can't afford that, not on my salary.
The movie brought its creators a bunch of awards, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Sound Mixing. Martin Riggs, masterfully created by Mel, is one of the best cinema characters according to Empire magazine. They filmed an alternative beginning depicting the main character as a less likable person, as well as the ending. they weren't included in the DVD release. The success of the first film prompted the producers to make a sequel, and between the two parts of the franchise, Gibson starred in a crime film, Tequila Sunrise. After the end of the filming of Lethal Weapon 2 in 1989, it became clear that it's not commercially reasonable to kill this character, and the original script was rewritten to allow another sequel to be made. There are 4 movies in the franchise in total.
And Riggs, one more thing. What? You know what that says? Yeah, same thing as that, but I don't give a...
Mel had to refuse the role of Batman to be able to star in the sequel. However, the magnificent performance in the first film gave Gibson the opportunity to fulfill the dream of any actor to play Hamlet in the film adaptation of Shakespeare's tragedy. The scene of Riggs' suicide attempt left director Franco Zeffirelli speechless, and he wanted only Mel to play the lead role. None of the major film companies wanted to fund the adaptation, so Gibson had to create his own company to begin the filming. This is how Icon Production was created. It introduced more than 20 movies. As a logo, Mel Gibson used a fragment of the Virgin of Vladimir icon. This made Mel Gibson very busy in the 90s. He starred in Bird on a Wire, Forever Young, and the action movie Air America. He got paid $7 million for the latter. In 1992, the fans saw the next movie about Martin Riggs. The third Lethal Weapon was a massive box office success and made Gibson richer by $10 million. Then, the American Western comedy Maverick thundered at the box offices, and Mel received even more money for it, $15 million.
I might have said a gut was cheap, but never a coward.
Cheap!
Never call a man a coward. I was teasing. Teasing!
Oh. I don't like being teased.
Besides, the ambitious Australian man tried his hand at directing. He filmed his first movie and played the lead role in it, The Man Without a Face. Despite the hopes, was not successful, which can't be said about Gibson's next movie. The epic historical war drama about Scotland's struggle for freedom, Braveheart, blew up the screen.
You tell your king that William Wallace will not be ruled, and nor will any Scot while I live.
The proof of the appreciation were 10 Oscar nominations. The movie won 5 of them, including one to Mel Gibson himself for Best Director. He also won a Golden Globe for Best Director. The story of the film creation is full of fun facts. For example, Mel's character is only 20 years old according to the script, and the actor himself was 38 at the time of the filming. Initially, the movie was supposed to be much more gruesome, but they cut out controversial scenes from the film to lower the age rating. The animal rights activists had some issues with the movie because they didn't believe that no horses was harmed during the filming. Gibson managed to get out of the scandal. He proved that some horses were mechanical. In 2000, in a special auction, the sword that was used by Gibson during the filming was sold for $170,000. In 1995, Mel tried his hand at animation. He took part in voice acting in 2 projects, Casper and Pocahontas. Right after that, Gibson starred in 2 thriller movies for which he got $20 million, Ransom and Conspiracy Theory. In 1998, Lethal Weapon 4 was released. Mel broke his personal record again and got $25 million for the role. Moreover, he signed a profitable advertising contract with a Japanese company, Subaru, and appears in the commercial driving a right-hand drive Legacy sedan through Stockholm and New York. By the way, Mel himself chose another Japanese car. He's driving a modest sedan Toyota Cressida. At the turn of the century, the fans saw Mel in another action movie called Payback and in The $1 Million Hotel. He also voiced a character in Chicken Run. The historical drama, The Patriot, was praised by the audience, for which Gibson got $25 million.
I understood you to be a patriot.
If you mean by patriot, am I angry about taxation without representation? Well, yes, I am.
It's peculiar that Mel asked to make several changes to the script. They added another child to the 6 children the character had because at that moment, Mel himself had 7 children. The movie, What Women Want, holds a special place in Mel's career.
You ever consider dating a woman who wears real underwear? You know, the kind that covers the entire bottom the way it's supposed to.
No, but if I ever do, should I give you a call?
A hoax and prank enthusiast, he brilliantly played the role of a charming ladies' man who gained the ability to hear women's thoughts after being electrocuted. The comedy film was a smashing hit, getting over $374 million in the worldwide box office. It was ranked 4th among the most successful movies of 2000. At the same time, Mel got into a huge-scale pharmaceutical war waged by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. It was trying to restrict the consumption of vitamins by the Americans. As a protest, Gibson appeared in a video in which his home is raided by a SWAT team. The actor, wearing a bathrobe and holding a vitamin C container, says to the SWAT team, "It's just vitamins." Since the early aughts, Gibson has not been that active as an actor. He appeared in such films as Signs and We Were Soldiers, which brought him $50 million in total, a musical crime comedy, The Singing Detective, and the TV series Complete Savages. Mel spent more and more energy and resources on his own projects, mostly as a director. His 2004 epic biblical drama film, The Passion of the Christ, was a really huge event. The movie shocked the public, depicting the last 12 hours of the life of Jesus Christ. The dialogues in this movie were written in reconstructed Aramaic, ancient Hebrew, and Latin. Gibson, after the release of the movie, proclaimed that the Holy Spirit was the real creator of the film and he was just a vehicle. He even donated $100 million to the Catholic Church. The filming process was very difficult. The lead actor was constantly injured, including a lightning strike. To make it more authentic, they decided to avoid using CGI. The job was done exclusively by makeup artists who spent 10 hours on it. Moreover, the actor who played Jesus received real lashes and carried a real wooden cross weighing 154 pounds. Thanks to this selfless and rigorous approach, the movie turned out to be grand. The whole society was shocked, including Pope John Paul II, who praised the movie, and Gibson's daughter Hannah was so impressed that she even expressed a desire to take the veil and become a nun. The phenomenal box office receipts of the movie was no surprise. It earned $609 million worldwide. Because of that, it is still in the top 10 of the highest grossing R-rated movies. After the filming, Mel decided to buy the lush green Mago Island in Fiji archipelago, measuring 8 square miles, for $15 million. He said he plans on preserving the island's original condition for recreation, and he remains true to his words. The satellite images show only dirt airstrip, Mel Gibson's mansion in the northern part of the island, and houses of locals who are paid by the actor. The next large-scale project of the Icon Company was the mystical movie Apocalypto, based on the historical myths and legends of the Maya tribe. Gibson was the producer, the director, and the screenwriter of the movie. Same as in the previous movie, Mel tried to make it as authentic as possible and didn't trust CGI to do the job. It was filmed mostly in the Mexican state of Veracruz, and they reconstructed step pyramids very close to the original. In the movie, Mayans are depicted as very cruel people, which was criticized by many historians, and representatives of one of the ethnic communities filed a report to the Human Rights Commission of the Yucatan state. At the same time, there was a huge scandal when Mel was arrested for drunk driving again. This time, the movie star acted really inappropriately, shouting anti-Semitic slogans and racial slurs. This stunt almost ruined Gibson's reputation, but he got away with it. He publicly apologized, speaking about lapses in judgment he's having from time to time. After this incident, Gibson retreated into the shadows for 10 years and didn't film any movies. Craving for solitude, in 2007, Mel bought a mansion with a plot of land of 400 acres on the Costa Rica coast. He's been thinking about buying a piece of this picturesque land when he was searching for a location for the Apocalypto shooting. He bought it for $26 million. This ranch consists of a villa surrounded by tropical forest and a cute backyard. The home features several classic colonial-style bedrooms, wood-dominated dining rooms, and an on-site pool. Later, Mel tried to sell the house for $35 million. After all, Mel Gibson is not just a great actor, but a good businessman as well. He knows how to sell. In 2007, he sold another mansion in the Tudor style in Connecticut for $40 million, which he bought in 1994 for $9 million. This 15-bedroom castle-like mansion is surrounded by a stunningly beautiful garden, and the interiors of the living room with fireplace, library, and dining room are strikingly rich and charmingly old-fashioned. This break from the film industry and property purchase can be explained by the problems in his personal life. In the spring of 2009, there were rumors that Mel's solid family split up. Allegedly, the spouses had not been living together for 3 years. Soon, Gibson showed up to the premiere of X-Men Origins Wolverine with a Russian pianist and singer Oksana Grigorieva. She met Gibson during the filming of one of the movies, and pretty soon, the smitten actor became the producer of her album. There is a theory that the meeting was not an accident, but was organized by a known in certain circles matchmaker, Peter Listerman. However, this information is not confirmed at all. After the joint appearance in the news about Oksana being 4 months pregnant, Robin filed for divorce and got half of the net worth of the adulterer, $850 million. Besides that, Mel has to pay half of his income to his ex-wife, and later she got 2 Malibu mansions worth a total of $22.5 million. Actually, the breakup fee of the Gibsons is considered to be one of the largest in the history of Hollywood. In October 2009, Mel and Oksana had a daughter, who became the 8th child of the actor. The new family with newborn Lucienne lived in a $11.5 million mansion situated in Malibu. Mel bought the house from his friend, David Duchovny, but the family life didn't work out, and after 18 months, the couple split up, and a few months later, Grigorieva filed a police report stating that she was physically abused by Gibson. They have opened a criminal case against Mel, and he received 3 years suspended sentence, a $400 fine, and a restraining order prohibiting him from seeing their mutual daughter. Also, the court ordered him to pay his common-law spouse a $750,000 compensation and pay $40,000 each month until the child reaches the age of 18. Also, Oksana got a mansion in Sherman Oaks, which Gibson bought in 2009 for $2.4 million. The court ordered Mel to pay maintenance costs as well, but the woman wanted more, so she posted on social media a recorded phone call between her and Mel, during which he used racial slurs. This almost cost the actor his career and reputation. Many people turned against him, but not Jodie Foster, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Rodriguez, and Sylvester Stallone. They helped out the actor. Thanks to Rodriguez and Stallone, he managed to appear in such movies as Machete Kills, where he played a villain for the first time, and The Expendables 3.
He thinks I'm joking. I'm not joking. You should see me when I'm angry. You'd be very impressed, then very dead.
As a result of the loud scandal, the filming of the action movie Get the Gringo was delayed, and the premiere of the eccentric drama The Beaver was cancelled. It was planned to premiere in December 2010, considering the Oscar nominations, but it was released only in May 2011. The premiere was a flop. The movie failed at the box office. To top it all off, in 2010, the actor got into a car accident. He crashed his Maserati car against a rock cliff on one of the Malibu roads. Fortunately, Gibson was not harmed, which can't be said about the car. It had to be towed. It was completely totaled. After this point, the actor decided to drive a convenient electric smart car. He's been driving it for many years already. Mel tried to forget about the previous relationship, and in 2012, it was reported that he's dating athlete Ashley Cusato, but it didn't last very long. The next period of Mel's life can be considered a reset. He was completely inactive both in professional and personal life. Only in 2016, Gibson renewed his activity. He appeared in the action film Bloodfather and then directed Hacksaw Ridge, which brought him an Oscar nomination as Best Actor. Also, it was reported that his new girlfriend, Rosalind Ross, is pregnant with the actor's 9th child. On January 20, 2017, the couple had a baby. They named him Lars Gerard. Thus, Mel has the second place in the top of actors with the largest number of kids. Only Charlie Chaplin had more kids than Mel. He had 11. But something tells us that Gibson may beat this record. In the last couple of years, Gibson appeared as an actor in such movies as Dragged Across Concrete, Boss Level, Force of Nature, Dangerous, and Daddy's Home 2.
Why does a duck have feathers?
Why?
To cover up his butt quack.
Hey, kids, I got a good one for you. 2 dead hookers wash up on the shore.
Whoa, shut up.
The most peculiar film he starred in recently is probably The Professor and the Madman, 2018. This movie was in production for 17 years. The filming process was full of scandals and lawsuits, so the production company Voltage Pictures banned the crew from filming in Oxford, England. The reason given was budget overruns and lack of time, and as a result, the filming was moved to Ireland. Enraged, Gibson couldn't let the company cripple his film this way, and he tried to ban the release of the film through the court, but he failed. In revenge, he decided not to participate in the advertising campaign. In 2020, there was a premiere of a comedy action film, Batman, with Mel Gibson in the lead role.
Remember when my bacon went through the vegan sugar-free phase?
I was lucky to survive it. Must have lost 12 pounds.
In 2021, Gibson appeared in the action films Agent Game, Dangerous, and Last Looks. And the following year, audiences could see the actor in Father Stu, On the Line, Hot Seat, Panama, and Bandit. After all the lawsuits and alimony, Mel Gibson's net worth is now $425 million, despite the fact that according to some open source estimates, Mel received a record sum of $450 million for The Passion of the Christ and invested only $30 million of his personal money. According to the most recent accounts, Mel is not sitting idle. Gibson is gonna be the director of Lethal Weapon 5. Besides, he will play the lead role in the Continental miniseries, which is about to be released. The most intriguing is the rumor that the actor is working on the sequel of his epic film about the life and death of Jesus Christ called The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, where Gibson will act as director, screenwriter, and producer. We tried our best to tell you all about the life of this brilliant actor, talented director, and unique person, Mel Gibson. Do you think he'll manage to surprise the world with a new masterpiece as he did with Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ?
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.